back to Ubusha Bami. I am Khabo and this is Dr. Mandy.
Hi.
And yeah, unfortunately, this is the last video of Eating Tuesdays, and we're basically just going to be reflecting on everything that has happened in the Teen Tuesday series, as well as just reflecting on the last conversations that we had with the teen girls and the teen boys, if you've been following.
Yeah.
And yeah. Anything you want to say, Mandy?
It was an awesome series for me. I think the reason why I wanted to do it was because we had already taken the position of, putting things out there and thinking this is what teens need to learn about sex, this is what they need to know about reproduction, and, just sexual and reproductive health in general.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting to finally hear it from the horse's mouth and hear teens speak about what their take was.
True.
And yeah, I really just enjoyed the entire series. I enjoyed facilitating it. I enjoyed asking them questions and the feedback that we got.
Yes.
Not only from the teens themselves, but every single time we put something up, people would always have a commentary about certain things that were said. But I'm sure we'll get around to that.
Yeah. Definitely. For me, I think it was just very interesting to see what teenagers are thinking right now, and to know and how much they know of sexual and reproductive health. And I think it was really good because there's a lot of people that saw the videos and made comments about how they had no idea that teen females are thinking this at this time, or teen males are thinking this at this time. So I think it definitely is something that should be done more by a lot of people. Have conversations with teenagers, because the future is in their hands, and if you equip them and you help them from where they are now, they can make better decisions for themselves, which I think is what the aim of this whole project is, for them to be enlightened, informed, and make better decisions at the end of the day.
Definitely. And I think we even said this in our previous video when we were talking about dating, that having, and not to say that everyone needs to have a mentor, but to say that if you are an adult or a young adult who's in the position to be of influence to young people, take it upon yourself to at least impart something, because
Exactly.
So I mean, if you've seen a couple of things and you know what works and what doesn't work, it's of benefit to us teens and to find out from them, what's happening in their minds, in their worlds, and if you can influence them positively. So I think that's exactly what you're saying. Even with people were wondering, is this what teens think? They didn't know, they didn't. So now at least it brings up the conversation, and it's good to continue to have the conversation.
So okay, with that being said, what was a highlight for you in the Teen Tuesday series?
Yeah, I must say I have two highlights.
Okay.
So the first one was with the girls' big discussion, was when we put up the big post for the girls' video. The one big comment that came up was that comment of
after 12 is lunch.
After 12 is lunch. So
yes.
I had no idea what that was.
Me too. She didn't even know.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
And then the grand reveal of what it was even more shocking.
It was.
So after 12,
it was.
After 12 is lunch is a euphemism, if I can call it, of once a girl is 12 years old, it's game for her, or she's now
sexually ready.
Yeah, sexually primed.
Yeah.
And the commentary I got once I posted what it actually meant, because someone texted me back, because I asked, so what is this? And someone said, nah, it actually means this. And I was like, what? Once I posted that answer, I literally had messages and people like, that's disgusting. Or what? I didn't know that's what it meant. Yeah. And people were so shocked that you can actually say something like that. I got such a lovely essay from a colleague who was actually saying, you know what, I think this is so enlightening for you to see where society's at.
Yes.
And she was saying that she had seen patients, or she has other colleagues and even her relatives who have treated specific patients, and they were like 13 or whatever. And she was like, it's so sad to see how girls are placed in this position where they are dominated when it comes to sex. And they don't get to set the terms. Someone else sets the terms for them, and they seem to be just like, I don't know, there to just receive it.
Yeah, they're basically going along with whatever that person, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever a man decides should happen to them.
Exactly.
And that's what I guess you also saw in the contrast between the girls' video and the guys' video. Was the guys were so open and
They
honest,
were.
and they had opinions.
They had
about things.
opinions.
Yes.
Whereas the females were very timid, very quiet. Okay, granted, I think the age gap also did play a factor because we had was it a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old?
Yeah.
Somewhere along those lines.
Yeah.
And with the guys, I think we had somebody that was...
We had a 17-year-old, but the oldest one was 19 going to 20.
19 going to 20,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, for me, it was just, okay, back to the after 12 is lunch comment. I think it just made it very clear that, and this is a girl that she's very, how can I say, she's very bubbly, the girl that said it. She's very bubbly, very open, very, she's snappy with her words. So she picks up a lot of things from a lot of people.
Yeah.
And this is probably a saying that she picked up wherever, with whatever groups she was around. And that just shows you that this is something that people say.
Casually so.
Casually so. Yeah. So much so that a child could pick it up and also felt like, hey man, after 12 is lunch.
It's a cool phrase.
It's like a cool phrase. It's a cool phrase. But when you actually dissect the phrase, it's just like, we'll see after 12 is lunch.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a bit. But anyway. So yeah, that was
the one big one for me.
Yeah.
That stood out. And the second one was I enjoyed the conversation with the boys. Particularly, when they spoke so openly about how for males the sexual expectation that's there. I think the one video that we had was asking them, with their sexual debut, like do boys usually feel they are ready for sex or is it peer pressure? And they all unanimously said it felt like peer pressure.
Yes.
And they're not really given the opportunity to be like, I feel I'm ready for sex. It's as though, boys are told, there is no readiness for sex. You are primed for sex and you just must do it because it's your time, it's your season.
Exactly.
And that was very sad for me because, we don't shine a huge light on males to say, you have as much choice as females do. You also have, and I think this also played a huge role when we're talking about understanding contraceptives, that the boys didn't know what contraceptives were available. Like they didn't know there was a pill, etc. But you could tell these aren't conversations they're having with their partners, and they don't have much autonomy when it comes to family planning decisions.
Yes.
So it just shows you once again that the preparation for sex, because it does require you to think of all the consequences and all the things that are there, that's not there and it's not happening. It really isn't happening. So I really was so grateful for the boys to be so honest about where they are and where young boys, where they draw their sources of how they view sex.
Yes.
So I really enjoyed the series.
No, it was very cool. A highlight for me, I'll say with the girls, was when we spoke about relationships. And they spoke about, they want a fairy tale. They quite simply.
I'm sorry to laugh at the joke.
But that just gave you an idea that this is what teenage girls are looking for. This is what they want. When they want a boyfriend, they want the whole thing. They want the flowers. They want the courting. They don't just want, and they seem pretty steadfast on the fact that, there needs to be a mutual understanding. There needs to be love. There needs to be kindness. And, they understand that there's issues here and there, but for the most part, it needs to be kindness, love, respect, mutual respect. And so that was one for the girls. With the boys, highlight was, I forgot his name, but he mentioned male contraceptives. He asked about male contraceptives, or there was a talk about male contraceptives.
Yes.
And you asked him if he'd be interested in it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. It was like, no, in a way, but definitely.
It was really cool for him to ask, and just to inquire, that he heard there might be a male contraceptive coming about. And I think that's a good direction, because let's not put the pressure on the girls, right?
Yes.
And we get a break from pumping ourselves with hormones. But
vasectomy the thing, guys.
But I think that showed progress in a sense. Even though it was just one boy that we interviewed who said it, but I feel like if he knows that, I'm sure there's people around him that also know that. I'm sure the discussion has maybe been there once or twice. So yeah, that was really cool.
And the beauty of the discussion was, I think you could tell that as you have a discussion with them, they're educating each other.
Yeah.
And these aren't things that, I mean, when you guys are chilling, you guys are going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So having them in that space and doing that whole interview, they were educating each other, and they were also learning, oh, there's such things, this, that. So like even with the male contraceptive, oh, there's actually male contraceptives that are in the works. So that was really, really cool. That was really, really cool. I really appreciated that. But I mean, overall, with the entire discussion, I think it helped me as someone who wants to create content and things that are helpful to teens to really see maybe where are the gaps where I can help in a cost-effective yet impactful way. And I'm going to use this moment to make a little promo for us.
Please do. Please do.
It's just the concept of having tools. Ubusha Bami designed tools. We haven't put them up yet, but it's just designing tools to help people have these conversations. So tools that teens can use to have with their partners, about sex, about contraceptives, about testing for HIV. It's like just like 8 basic questions that you ask your partner, and you guys have the conversation just to, put it out there, and start having the talk. And we also designed a similar tool for parents to start having the conversation. So keep an eye out for that. That will be on the website. It is in the works. But it really inspired me and inspired us to, like, once we do these things, there must be a positive outcome to why we are doing them. And unfortunately, we can't go the entire South Africa and interview teens. We could if someone sponsors us. But
that would be amazing.
It would be great. But this, I guess, is just our little contribution. And if people could use these tools, maybe they can start having a lot of fruitful conversations. Because sometimes you just don't know where to start.
Exactly.
And you don't know what to ask.
Another thing is that there's so much information on the internet, it can get overwhelming. For example, if you're going to research about contraceptives, some of the things, there's all the information's there, but it's just like, but what is this actually? Like, what are they saying? So sometimes when you listen to something and people that are more or less your age group, just a bit above or lower, discuss it, you end up, number one, taking an interest. And number two, learning things from different people's perspective of that particular thing. Because there's always 2 sides to a story. For example, contraceptives. There's people that are not for contraceptives, there are people that are for contraceptives. But if you look on the internet, they're just going to tell you all the reasons why you should be for it. If you just Google contraceptives. Versus when we're having a conversation like this, or when we have information on our website, we make it a little bit more concise and say, contraceptives are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they also do cause, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So do your research, inform yourself before making a decision. Versus, contraceptives, the pill, let me get a prescription, I'm on it.
Exactly.
So
and that's empowering.
That is.
And I think that's how we need to see it. With young people, and I think we said this previously in other videos or even in our articles, is that the whole aim of Ubusha Bami is to put the information out there, to be concise, to be user friendly for young people, but also so that you know that it is your responsibility to know better and to decide for yourself. So the argument of sexual reproductive health is it's a youth thing. You must decide for yourself. You must decide if you want to use a contraceptive. You must decide when you want to actually have your sexual debut.
And what type of contraceptive.
That's true. So you must, when you go to a health facility, you go there armed, knowing what's out there, not going there so they can tell you what to do.
And funny, this video is going to go on forever. Funny you say that, because I don't blame the people delivering the information, but if you go to government clinics and all of that, they don't really give you, and I'm pretty sure it's because of the queues, the long lines, shortage of staff, they can't really give you a detailed package, of what a contraceptive is and what you're doing. They just tell you, okay, you're gonna be on it, come back after 3 months, come back, When they come back and that's it. They just know that they're not going to get pregnant and that's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But we're trying. We're trying to make a difference.
And in our corner.
Hope, and we hope it really has. I think it has.
Yeah.
We've received a lot of positive feedback, a lot of people wanting to use some of our videos to try and teach other people, teach other teenagers.
And even show parents what teenagers think about them and the summer sex talks and things. Yeah. So I think also I'm very grateful for some feedback. Yeah. You know, when you're trying out something, or I recently come to think to myself, look, in life, we need to learn to just try and do what we can with what we have. Yes. And in my own corner of influence, try and do the best I can do with what I have. Yes. So if this for me is my little passion project where I want to help, let that be that.
Yes, let that be that.
And true. Whoever stumbles upon it and benefits from it, I hope it will be good for them. Yeah. So I'm very grateful for all the feedback that you know some people have given. It does motivate you to keep trying. It does. But I also have learned. Someone once said, "Look, you shouldn't always thank everyone who comes and buys your product because you are providing a service that they are in need of. That's why they come and they inquire about it. So when you keep saying, oh, thank you so much for helping me, thank you so much, that's where you devaluing yourself as well. Exactly. No, you're providing a service. Also have the confidence to be like, you're welcome.
Proudly so. You're welcome, actually. But yeah, man, it's been a great series. Major shout out to everybody who was involved, all our teenagers.
Thank you.
You guys were absolutely amazing.
Stellar cast.
Pleasant people. Yes. So polite. Yes. On time, which I absolutely love. And yeah, no, it was really great. Yes. We did well. High five.
Yay! No, we did do well.
Yeah. So I think that's it. We've said a lot, a mouthful, but if you've made it this far in the video, we thank you so much. And we hope you stay tuned for more of our videos, more of our information. For those of you who didn't catch it, we are Ubusha Bami. We are on Instagram. It's Ubusha_Bami. We are on Facebook, Ubusha Bami. And you can also hit us up on our Gmail account, which is ubushabami@gmail.com. So yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
Take care.